other nursery rhymes. Though these tales were often a huge part of our childhood, we gave little thought to the meaning behind the seemingly unexplainable word. But now that we're adults, we have to wonder, what was the poet really talking about? A lamb at a school? A woman living in a shoe? A dish running away with a spoon? Is there more to these rhymes than meets the eye? Well, if you're a citizen of Sterling, Massachusetts, you know there's definitely more behind the story of Mary's lamb. Sarah Hale of Boston wrote this poem in 1830. The story is allegedly written about a woman by the name of Mary Sawyer and, of course, her lamb. As legend goes, the two made history one day when they arrived at the old Redstone schoolhouse together. Today, a statue stands in the town common to pay tribute to this world-famous lamb. It seems that most nursery rhymes have a deeper meaning that we, as children, can enjoy, but as adults, find interesting. Today, I'd like to invite you along as I explore the world of nursery rhymes by cracking into the identity of Mother Goose and deciphering the meaning of some more popular rhymes. Nursery rhymes hit the scene at a time when education, and especially the written language, were limited to only the upper class. Due to the lack of education to the middle class, nursery rhymes and similar tales were often passed on by word of mouth. It wasn't long after that stories told by the beloved Mother Goose came about. So just who is this long-reigning queen of nursery rhymes, Mother Goose? When one mentions the words Mother Goose, many imagine a giant white goose sporting a bonnet and spectacles. Though this may be true, the title of Mother Goose has been given to many she's and even he's throughout history. Charles Perrault became one of the first authors to use the term Mother Goose when he published his collections of nursery rhymes in 1697. The frontispiece of his work depicted an old woman telling stories along with a place card bearing the words Contes de Meulerie, meaning Tales of My Mother Goose. John Newbery was also vital to the birth of Mother Goose when he used her name to title his collections of children's rhymes in 1765. Though many authors were thought to have taken the term Mother Goose into the mainstream, the notion that a real Mother Goose actually existed has also aroused. Andrew Lane, author of Perrault's popular tales, believes the Meulerie was telling tales as long ago as 1650. This French term has been linked to a storyteller named Bertha. Not only was Bertha thought to be an actual person, but experts believe she may have been royalty. Two Queen Berthas have been named suspects in the search for the real Mother Goose. Author Gloria T. Delamare believes that French Queen Bertha of Pippin is the first candidate, as she was often referred to as Queen Goosefoot or Goosefooted Bertha. Both nicknames were based on her feet, which were said to be large and, of course, webbed. The other queen thought to have ties as Mother Goose was also of France. And though she was depicted as a storyteller to children, it was most likely the close blood tie to her husband that resulted in a child with the head of a goose that made her the possibility for the real Mother Goose. Despite the confusion of the origin of Mother Goose, one thing is certain: nursery rhymes will always be popular. But what exactly do these silly little rhymes mean? Experts believe that nursery rhymes can be linked back to a time when kings and queens ruled. Many of these monarchs weren't thought highly of from their subjects, and nursery rhymes were thought to be a way for peasants to poke fun at their rulers and keep their lives. Take, for instance, the story of Hey Diddle Diddle. Though it sounds as if the author wrote a story about a cow jumping over a moon, according to www.rooneydesign.com, the story is actually written about Queen Elizabeth I, who was often referred to as the cat, for the way she fiddled with her cabinet ministers. The cow, moon, and dog were merely members of her court. Elizabeth's serving lady was labeled the dish, and the spoon was, of course, the royal taster. Knowing this information, it's a little easier to believe that the dish ran away with the spoon, and in fact, it did. When these two secretly eloped, Elizabeth had them captured and imprisoned in the Tower of London. Now, Queen Elizabeth wasn't the only one having stories written about her. Three Blind Mice was allegedly written about Queen Mary I of England, who was often called the farmer's wife due to the vast farmland her estates included. The ratty noblemen mentioned in the rhyme weren't really chopped with a knife. Mary preferred to simply burn them at the stake. In the case of Jack Sprat, queen were targeted with the humor. Charles I was compared to the nutritionally challenged Jack Sprat, and the greedy Henrietta Maria, his very plump wife. Now, there doesn't seem to be any reason behind a story told of an old woman living in a shoe. There actually is truth behind this tale. The shoe the author described wouldn't exactly fit on your foot. They're really referring to the British Isle. Parliament is labeled the old woman who whipped her disobeying children, or the British Empire, by appointing BB's spies James I to the throne. Jack Sprat, Humpty Dumpty, Little Miss Muffet, and others will forever be associated with their childhood. But perhaps now as adults, we will have a new appreciation and a better understanding of these characters and their underlying stories. Because we all know it will always be fun to imagine a world where 3 men can bathe in a tub while Little Miss Muffet sits on her tuffet eating her curds and whey.
You have 15 minutes to make up your mind, Pat, Mom said. She put the red toothbrush and the green toothbrush side by side on the table. I was faced with a big decision. 15 Minutes by Larry Collin. My old toothbrush had been yellow, and its bristles were soft and bent. These two looked pretty good. Maybe the red would be best. I sat down at the table and studied them. 2 minutes later, Violet Deaver walked in, big smile on her face like she owned the world. What are you doing? Nothing. She saw the toothbrushes on the table. She reached for one, but I pushed her hand away. Pat, stop that. I asked your mother to buy me a toothbrush. One of those is mine. Mom heard her and shouted from the kitchen that I had us first, so I had first choice. 12 minutes left to decide, Pat. Deaver sat down at the other side of the table and studied the toothbrushes. They're both nice, aren't they? You know which one you're going to take yet? Whichever one I want. I wasn't going to have her trying to make me take the one she didn't want. Maybe you ought to take the red one, she said, touching the end of the red handle. It's very nice. The bristles look very straight. Then a sly look crossed her face, and I knew she was playing one of her games again. She was going to try and trick me. Well, this time I wasn't going to be tricked. This time I would do the tricking. Deaver, don't touch them. Mom said I had first choice, and that means first touching too. I looked closely at the green one. If she wanted me to take the red one, she must have seen something special about the green one. Or maybe she just liked the color best. The green one looked a little bit longer than the red one, but maybe it's just where I was sitting. I moved them closer together to compare size. It doesn't seem right that you can touch them and I can't. One of them is going to be mine, isn't it? Well, I don't want you touching my toothbrush. A toothbrush is a very personal thing, Pat. People do not go around touching other people's toothbrushes. All her talk was getting in the way of my deciding which one I wanted. Deaver smiled and pointed to her watch. Then she drew a little circle around the red toothbrush. She didn't say a word, but she might as well have. I looked at the toothbrushes, and then I looked at her. She kept telling me the red was best. She wanted me to think she wanted the green one. But suppose it was one of her tricks. Maybe it was the red one she wanted. Well, two could play at that game. I haven't really decided yet, but I think I might just take the green one. The expression on her face didn't change a whit. Not an eyelid flickered. She stared me in the eye, dared me to guess what she was thinking. I had already wasted more than half of my time, and I still didn't know which one I wanted. I like red. It's a bright, kind of loud color. I wouldn't want red clothes, except maybe a tie. Pat, have you ever broken a tooth? I was just getting started my thinking, and she got me distracted again. Mom's not going to fool around. At the end of the 15 minutes, she's deciding who gets what color. The reason I asked, Pat, is that when you break a tooth, it means a friend will die. I had it happen to me when I was only 6 years old. It wasn't exactly a person friend. It was a hamster, but it broke my heart. Deaver, will you please let me think? She says I ought to take the red one. She knows I'm not going to take the one she wants me to. That means she knows I'll take the green one. And that means if she wants the red, she just has to be quiet a little bit longer. I have this thing puzzled out. Red is a very lucky color, Pat. Did you know it could even help you if you have a poor memory? She just wouldn't shut up. You have 5 minutes left to decide, Pat. You surely are taking a long time to decide which one you want. She got up and went to the kitchen. Then she came back, crunching on a celery stick. She says I should take the red one, but she also knows I won't do it because she's telling me to do it. But if I'm smart enough to figure that out, then I'll take the red one, and she'll be left with the green one. Suppose she's figured out that I figured it out. Which one does she really want then? I was getting confused. I looked at her. She was still chewing on that green celery stick. But she tried to tell me something with that stick. She smiled at me, still chewing. Maybe I ought to get back to thinking about which one I want instead of which one she wants. The green one is pretty, kind of a grass green. Lots of nice-looking things are green. Lawns are green, leaves are green, olives, emeralds, watermelons. Watermelons. But the sweet part on the inside is red. All right, Beaver, which one do you really want? Oh, I don't have a real preference. I just thought the red would be nice for you. I balled my fist. I knew she wasn't going to tell me the truth. 2 minutes to go, Pat. I whirled on Beaver. I wanted to yell at her to go away, but she wasn't smiling like she was winning the war or anything. There was a kind of hurt look on her face. I thought I'd been helping you, Pat. Beaver, a gal does not need help deciding which color of toothbrush she wants. All right, then, I won't say another word. She sat back in her chair and looked at me. The hurt look stayed on her face. Now she was trying to make me feel guilty. 1 minute, called Mom. Which one? Red one? Green one? Ruby one? Emerald one? I knew she wanted the red one. I just knew it. All right, I've decided. I stretched my hand out over the toothbrushes. I paused over the red one and looked at Beaver's face, but I couldn't tell a thing. Then I moved my hand over the green one. Still nothing. I scooped my hand out and grabbed the green one, watching her from the corner of my eye. Her face lit up like a Christmas tree. Good, she said. Now I knew. I dropped the green toothbrush and grabbed the red one and pulled it close to me. This time, I had won. Time's up, yelled Mom. I grinned at Beaver and waited for her smile to fade. But it didn't happen. She reached out in her dainty way. With 2 fingers, she plucked the green toothbrush off the table. Wonderful, she said. Green is my favorite color. This is my senior year of high school, and sometimes I feel overwhelmed with all the scholarship applications, college applications, financial aid documentations, and mostly the dreaded SATs. Babs, the character in my selection, has found a unique way around the SATs. Cheering My Way into College by Johnson Haven. Hello, and thank you all for coming out writing my request. I realize that all of you at the Scholastic Aptitude Testing Board have never received a finished application quite like mine before. But it's the new millennium, and I think it's time that the SATs got a little shaken up by someone who knows an excellent way to get into the college of their choice. Yes, rather than restrict myself to the traditional Scholastic Aptitude testing, I brought you my own little dose of the SATs, skills and talent. So sit back and relax as I show you how I should get into the college of my choice. Cheerleading, that's right. Give me an S, give me an A, give me a T. What's that spell? S-A-T. Great, that was T-rific. That was a pun. A pun is a play on words intended for humorous results. All right, now who here loves humor? I love humor. So give me an H, give me an A. What's that spell? Ha, say it again. Ha, say it 2 times fast. Ha ha, made y'all laugh. All right, so here's another joke I made up myself when I was inspired by watching Nova. What kind of underwear does the mermaid wear? Wanna know? Algebra. Get it? Like the SAT's algebra? I'm so funny. All right, now it's time for a quick PSA moment. As a member of the public, I have taken every public service announcement very seriously, whether it's about smoking or salmonella, and I think everyone else in the public should take it very seriously too. So give me a P, give me an S, give me an A. What's that spell? P-S-A. Another quick PSA. Babs is totally cool. All right, now it's time for word poem, and word poems are no problem for Babs.
choo-choo, leaves Washington, D.C., choo-choo, going 50 miles an hour. And another train, chugga-chugga, choo-choo, leaves Chicago going 80 miles an hour. Which one is going to reach